Hello, welcome. I'm Tommy the Keyblade Master, and this is my channel. Today I am going to be looking at something I call a bargain bin game. Now, a bargain bin game is something that is on a recent system, but is now cheaper than $20. I'm not talking about Super Nintendo games, nor I'm talking about digital-only games. These are games you can walk into a GameStop or a Walmart and get for $20 or less. I'm going to look at them and see if they're worth the price and who should be interested in this game. So let's walk over to the bargain bin and see what I pull out. Prince of Persia. I do believe I got this for around $3.99 used at GameStop recently. Is it worth that amount, or did I get ripped off? Let's find out. The story of the Prince of Persia is one that any guy will relate to. It starts off with a man literally losing his ass. Okay, donkey named Farah, who had his gold. While searching for the donkey, though, he finds a woman being chased by guards. This leads him to a temple where an evil man who leads the guards cuts down the trees, releasing an evil god named Ahriman, which spreads darkness and corruption throughout the land. The only way to stop Ahriman is for Elika to find the lost fertile grounds hidden in her kingdom and then to heal them, restoring nature to its proper order. Well, stopping the evil god from coming back has only been done in pretty much every other video game. I will give it props for the healing the earth. That has not been done before. Going to sacred grounds, healing them, bringing nature back has never been done before in a video game. Sorry, I seem to be coming down with a cough. Okay, I'm not going to lie. This game takes plenty from Capcom's classic PS2 game Okami. But, hey, on the bright side, at least nobody screws up the main characters' names in this one. I'll give this video game credit, though, for the two main characters. They're pretty likable. They have discussions, fights, and even do some mild flirting with each other.
Take us to the top.
I'll go first. Hey, I'm staring at my ass. I felt you looking.
I thought you'd lost your ass.
Donkey.
The characters and their banter does help the game out a lot. There's a lot of humor in the banter. Also helping the game is that each area has its own tale and its own history, either explained by Elika when you enter an area, or you can access it through the map. The story's not bogged down with exposition, but there's plenty to explore and figure out in this fantasy world Ubisoft has created. In the end, the story is not the best video game storyline ever, but it's not the worst. It keeps the game moving, and it makes you want to explore more in this world afterwards. That's the best a video game plot can actually ask for. I love graphics in games like this. The game is beautifully cel-shaded. It looks like a Persian painting almost, which is what it's supposed to look like. I think it's going to last longer than this generation when it comes to looks. It's 6 years old and I can't really tell it's that good looking. One of the things I like though in the art direction is when you go from a cursed zone to a purified zone and vice versa, how they did it. The cursed zones don't look completely gooey or dark, rather they look like they are at night in color, and it's done beautifully. The lighting, everything's done beautifully. This is a great looking game. The uncursed zones, however, have this nice look of them like it's daylight and everything's serene and beautiful. And like I said, as you start breaking curses area, the whole area starts to change more into daytime. It's a good choice. It really brings the world alive in the way they did this. So the graphics are beautiful. Like I said, I really do see this game as timeless. 30 years from now, I think it will hold up to games of that time, at least when it comes to looks. As far as the music, it does sound pretty good. It sounds kind of authentic to the tale it's telling, so that's not bad. There's nothing super memorable about it, but it's not bad. Voice acting goes, we have Nolan North as the Prince.
You could try just giving her a pony. The apocalypse doesn't really cut it.
And he can be remembered from things like Nathan Drake, I guess, from Uncharted. Although I have never played Uncharted before, he is well known for that role. He also has played another role for Ubisoft.
I thought Templars were old dudes with funny hats who sat around drinking beer.
Okay, so maybe not all the characters he's played have been likable.
Writings say he was a king. He asked Ahriman for help, and in return for the king's soul, Ahriman gave him the strength to fight the armies that threatened him.
And Carrie Walgren here plays the voice of Elika, and she does a good job. She was in Final Fantasy XII as the voice of Ash. She does a really great job here as well. Both characters are likable, they're well voiced. The side characters, when you meet them, are fairly well voiced, although most of the story focuses on these two as far as plot. Now to talk about the gameplay in this Prince of Persia reboot. Like the Sands of Time series, you're still using a type of parkour to run around walls, jump off ledges, grab onto things, and climb walls. That's the main part of the gameplay in the Prince of Persia series. Still the same here. One of the new things, though, about Prince of Persia 2008 is it's now an open world. It's not open world like you would find in an Assassin's Creed game. Rather, how it's done is that each world is connected by highways, and you get to choose which route you want to go in. You could say it's like Metroid, except it's a lot more linear than what a Metroid game would be, but it works perfectly with the Prince of Persia's platforming gameplay. It's really kind of fun. If you get lost, Elika will be able to shoot balls of light that will lead you to your destination. Now, you're allowed to go anywhere in the game, except to get to the fertile grounds requires to use colored plates. These can be unlocked by collecting light seeds that appear after the fertile grounds have been healed. So, although the game is open world, you do have a few limitations. Blue plates and red plates are more automatic. Blue plates let you fly around like I just did. Red plates, on the other hand, allow you to jump all over the place, but again, this is all automatic. So, not much fun using these two plates. Green plates, on the other hand, will let you run up walls, and you will have some control of this. It's kind of a little meta game in these areas where you'll have to try to run up walls without getting hit and sent back. It's kind of fun. Yellow, on the other hand, will allow you to fly around and try to avoid obstacles. These are a little bit more fun than the red and blue. While the platforming bits in the open world are great in Prince of Persia 2008, it does have its problems. I'll start first with the battle system. I have yet to encounter a Prince of Persia where the battles are good. You know, they're usually the source of most of my grief with these Prince of Persia games. Despite them changing the battle system up a lot, it still holds true in Prince of Persia 2008. Battles are now done one-on-one, and they're done kind of as this fighting game Street Fighter-esque style where you have to do combos. It was admirable, it just doesn't work. Also not helping is the fact that you have to battle each boss not once, not twice, no, not even 3 times, but 6 times. Each time there's a purified zone, there is a boss, and there's 1 boss per area that you will have to fight 6 times each in order to beat the game. It gets a little tedious to fight these bastards, let me tell you. Not the most tedious game Ubisoft has ever made. I'll get to that later, though. My next complaint comes with Elika. No, not her character. I like her character well enough, but the way she's used. She's your Sands of Time in this one. And if you don't understand the reference, in the Prince of Persia series, you're doing a lot of platforming that can be complicated and very tricky. You're expected to make mistakes, so they give you a device in most of the others called the Sands of Time. This allows you to rewind your time back to your last mistake, but there was finite uses. In this one you have Elika. You can use her unlimited amount of times, but the catch is, rather than go back to where you want to go, the game will send you back to the last really safe platform you were standing on. This can lead to a lot of frustration in some of the areas that leave no room for error in your platforming. That's right, folks. The entry in the series that has a mechanic that allows you not to die is in some ways more frustrating than the entries in the series that actually have game over signs in them. The mechanic and the way it works is just that frustrating. I would have rather had a Sands of Time approach and have limited uses of Elika here if it meant I could just go back to the last pillar I screwed up on. Now for the achievements. For the most part, they're fairly easy to get. I picked up the lion's share just from beating the game somewhat competently and making sure I talked to Elika whenever a window opened. To get all of them, though, it looks like you'll have to collect all the light seeds and do some speed running. They also have special conditions on some of the bosses, requiring a playthrough if you didn't get them the first time. But there is one achievement that really pisses me off. Not that it's hard to unlock, it's what it says. To be continued. Congratulations, the game is complete. The story has only just begun. Bullshit! Unfortunately, the game has not had a sequel since 2008. There was a DS side story release, but no true sequel. So the story kind of ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger. There is some DLC available, which I have not tried, but for the most part, it ends on a cliffhanger. 6 years without a sequel. I wonder what happened. You know something? I'll ask the game itself why it hasn't gotten a sequel in all these years. Hey, Prince of Persia, why haven't you gotten a sequel in almost 6 years? I have no idea. Well, that's kind of disappointing to hear. Hey, wait a minute. You're not Prince of Persia, you're Assassin's Creed. Where's Prince of Persia?
He couldn't make it. Too many holes in the stomach made by a hidden blade.
Damn it, Assassin's Creed! Did you kill Prince of Persia?
Well, is it my fault I'm such a better game than he is?
Don't make me laugh. You're one of the most boring, repetitive sandbox games I've ever played. It's a miracle you even got a sequel at all. Sure, your series has become stellar, but just based on you, it's amazing it's not called Assassin's Disappointment. What? Why you?
Why you?
Oh, don't worry, Assassin's Creed. I'll explain everything in my next bargain bin review because you're on the table. I'll explain why I dislike you so much. But that said, your sequel, Assassin's Creed 2, was a really great game, and it took off. I can understand why Ubisoft put Prince of Persia to bed for a while this series was going and still popular. It also, I think, had a reason to do with why Ubisoft doesn't make any more Naruto games. Why license a ninja from a Japanese company when you have your own assassins in-house and the games are very similar to each other? I give Prince of Persia 2008 a 3 out of 5 stars. As far as overall value, I would pay between $10 to $15 for this. That's the amount of fun I think I had with this one. Steam's got it for the right price at $10. Meanwhile, Xbox Live and PSN are still a little high at $20. GameStop, however, has it used for $5 for the physical disc copy, which I think is a really great value. If you haven't tried this series or game yet, $5 is an excellent price to get into. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.